Hello, I'm Frank Caruso, producer of Oregon Life, and welcome to a brand new episode. Undoubtedly, when I go out to film an episode like Greenhaven Gardens, I learn about another episode. And they told me about King Garlic. That episode will be coming up later this year. And then I'm at King Garlic and I meet someone that is truly fantastic. And this is something I've loved as a child, and it's a miniaturist. And she will take us on a journey of what it's like to be a miniaturist and how miniaturists create this real world, but in very small items, with very small items, built and bought. This is one of mine. It's a diary, a miniature diary with little stories in there, believe it or not. And as always, we are thankful to Tor Horse Insurance for helping us produce this episode and many others and being a contributor to OCAmedia and Oregon Life. If you would like to sponsor a show or contribute in any way, as we are a nonprofit, contact Paul Zwicker, our director, and there's a link below where you can reach him. Go to our website, and there's a donation page where you can become a donor and keep these shows airing here on OCAmedia. So enjoy this show, The Miniaturist on Oregon Life.
Welcome to my miniature home. Hi, I'm Marisa Lukesic, and I've been creating miniatures for 40 years. The reason I got interested in miniatures is that when I was 10 years old, I was looking at the JCPenney catalog, the Christmas catalog that came out every year, and we would flip through and see what we wanted to ask Santa for Christmas, and I saw a picture of a dollhouse, and it wasn't really in my nature to play with dolls. I fought that. I had wanted nothing to do with dolls, but I really wanted this dollhouse. I wanted to build it and decorate it, and my parents got it for me and then helped me put it together. So this is the first dollhouse that I ever had that I built with my mom and dad. I was 10 when I got it, so I was probably 10 or 11 in this photo. And I still have it today. It's just as it's gone through some transitions, I've gone through some transitions too. So when I first got started as a child, you could go to shops and buy miniatures. But as time went along and the fashion kind of faded, I had to start making things myself. I had a great teacher that my mom was a seamstress, so we could make curtains and bedding and pillows. So that was really helpful. But as the trend faded and you couldn't go to dollhouse shops anymore, I had to start figuring out how to make things for myself. So I really see the world in shapes. And when I see something tiny, I think, oh, that looks like a drinking glass, or oh, that looks like it could be a suitcase. So I think that I have a unique vision in that I see the world in shapes. And then that has just really helped me over the years to be able to build anything I want in miniature size. So when I'm out, either at a thrift store or a garage sale or a crafting store, I'm always just looking for teeny tiny little things. I have to look at the jewelry. I have to look at the toys. I have to look in the antique section because I'm always looking for that little tiny thing. And a lot of times I find it, but it's not how you think you're going to find it. If it's a piece of jewelry, I have to then come home and take it apart. If it's little pots that have been glued on a shelf that somebody bought in Mexico as a souvenir and brought home and then donated, I have to come home and soak that little shelf to get those pots to come off of the shelf. So, and I'm teaching people how to do this. My sister, who is a little bit older than me, I always tell her to look for miniatures, and now she is training her eye to go out and about and find things that she thinks that I would be interested in. I think I probably got a little trinket at Vinnie's, painted it, put paper on it, put the pearls on it, put the sunglasses on it. That was, I'm sure, a charm. These were purchased, and then this was probably a little charm. So you just have to be brave. And when it comes apart, you re-glue it. And then the veil is an antique handkerchief that I cut up. So, and then just put the bow on it, glued it on, and there you have it. So sometimes when I can't sleep at night, I use my miniature creations to just calm my mind. I try to create everything to be real and believable. So when I can't sleep, I pretend that I'm looking at the front of one of my dollhouses or creations, my miniatures, and I walk up to it and I open the door and I walk inside and I look to the left. If it's a dollhouse, maybe you're in the living room now, so I'm looking at the furniture. And then if you go to the right, you're going into the kitchen. And I just imagine that I'm inside my creation. For one, it just helps me calm my mind. The other one, it's a bit of a puzzle. Like, did I make it to be believable? So this is a suitcase that's traveled all over the world, and now I turned it into the Luna Bell Hotel. I wanted it to have a European feel, or like a micro hotel feel, kind of like the Ruby Marie Hotel. So kind of a boutique experience, not very many rooms. It's all pink and green and cat themed. And the what is the address, 1106, is my husband's birthday. Well, it's nearing lunchtime, so let's visit our bakery, the Taste of France. So this piece has gone through many transitions. I first got this piece when I was a teenager. When I purchased it and built it, it was meant to be a general store. So it was colonial blue with lots of plaid and just homesy things. Over the years, it's transitioned. I wanted it to grow up a bit. It was very bold when I painted the exterior black, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And having visited France, I just wanted to represent the time that I had spent eating wonderful croissant in France. So come on into my living room. This is a house that my dad made in the 1980s. Dollhouses were very trendy at the time, and he just went down the basement and without a pattern made this incredible dollhouse. So I love it because it's a log cabin. You don't need to wallpaper the walls. You don't need to worry about the ceiling. You can just get started decorating it right away. To stay on theme, I wanted to make it into, I call it the Santa Fe flavored dollhouse. And I just wanted a southwestern themed house. I think I've achieved that. We're celebrating Dia de los Muertos over with our altar. And we have photographs of real family members in those tiny little photo frames on the wall. I cut up some tiny little photos that my mom had given me. And all throughout the house are good memories because it's taken me a lot of trips and travels to collect all the miniatures that you see here today. So one of the first conversations I had with my current husband, Pat, was about Detroit and miniatures. And did I know that Colleen Moore came from Port Huron, where he was from, because Colleen Moore was a silent film actress, and she created the fairy castle that's down at the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago. So that was one of our very first conversations. And once we started dating, I had shared a miniature with him that I made. I call it the Taste of France, and he calls it the French Bakery. So he says that that's the first one I ever showed to him. And then for our first date was at the Next Door Brewery in Madison. And for our 3rd year of dating anniversary, I made him a miniature of the Next Door Brewery. He didn't know, we didn't live together at the time, so I did it all in secret. And then to reveal it, I took it to the Next Door Brewery and had him meet me there, and it was very exciting. So after that, he wanted to help me out. He gets very excited about my work. I don't think he likes the mess that it creates, but he likes the finished product. And so he helped me organize and put together, for Art Walk in Madison, we had rented a gallery space, and he helped me get all set up, and he dressed up, and he bought all the wine, and he bought all the cheese, and then he just was like the maitre d' all night, just showing people around, so, and being proud of my work, so. But we had about 200 people show up. So my plans for the future is to have a gallery. living in Stoughton. We have such a beautiful downtown, and I can picture in my mind purchasing one of the beautiful old buildings and having the front of the building be a shop and the back of the building being a miniature museum with my miniatures featured. Over the years, I've dragged my family around to many, many miniature museums, and we would plan our family vacations to highlight these different museums in different states, near and far. So I would just really like to create this travel destination for other miniaturists, and then I would just like it to be an inspiration place and a creation space for people, for local people to come in and get inspired and maybe go home and create something for themselves.
Next on Oregon Life, let's take a look at Cop Key's greenhouse and some of the cool things they're doing for Wisconsin Badger Honor Flight.